cause we gon' speak the truth. Whoa, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Out in your city and you know you hear us loud, so stop your frontin'. We gon' bring the trumpets. We be on them highways, tell them be cool, we on the byways. Bring out the word, they looking sideways. I don't do it my way. We on them highways, tell them be cool, we on the byways. Bring out the word, they looking sideways. I don't do this my way. We be on them highways, tell them be cool, we on the byways. Bring out the word, they looking sideways. I don't do it my way. We on them highways, tell them be cool, we on the byways. Bring out the word, they looking sideways. I don't do this my way.
Hey, don't boast, man. See them scriptures like a fire, now you toast, man. Yeah, you say you got the truth, but ain't no word in them. So stop lying, they ain't buying. You can't stop the way we moving, so stop trying. Yeah, we shining, oh, woo. Cause you know Christ, he be the root. So every time we come around your city, get it poppin'. You know what we came to do. What's the truth? Psalms 119, you know verse 142. That's the truth. Keep them statues and don't turn at his reproof. He gon' laugh at your calamity. All lip service, you still stuck in Christianity. When you should be feeding the flock of the slaughter, the sons and the daughters, but you still got a Pharisee mentality. Just appearance. Yeah, they steady hating cause we ain't lost that coherence. On the straight and narrow, trying to make it to the entrance. On them highways, trying to bring them to repentance. We be on that front line. We be on that front line. You line, we grind. We be on that front line. We be on that front line. You line, we grind. We be on that front line. We be on that front line. You line, we grind. We be on that front line. On them highways and them hedges, yeah, we bringing the Lord's message, so you know you gotta respect it.
On them highways, tell them be cool, we on the byways. Bring out the word, they looking sideways. I don't do this front line.
You line, we grind. We be on that front line. On them highways and them hedges, yeah, we bringing the Lord's message, so you know you gotta respect it.
They don't even know that they gotta keep the laws. But some of my people, they don't wanna get involved. They got a veil on them, they can't even see at all. Stiff neck in their mind and they see it in their hearts. Cause they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 they don't even know, no, no. No, no, no. Yeah, understand. I can't be around wickedness. I'm the man. Run my father's business and I can't stand.
That's why we stay divided. They love this oppression, depressing to see how a people, but Bible describes it. From men they get precepts, they effects and rejects and defects. He lets them deceive him. No respect his precept when he steps and he speaks the words with no life and no meaning. These pastors are making more money than athletes actually like Willie Beeman. Or might they or more like Rick Cullen walking that he has no life and not breathing. Meanwhile his friend and me enemies creeping on a come up plotting and scheming. Now it's too late, he was living a nightmare disguised as American dreaming. The Bible will be preached across the globe and to every soul, so you cannot say you didn't know.
They don't even know that they gotta keep the laws, but some of my people, they don't wanna get involved. They got a veil on them, they can't even see it all. Stiff neck in their mind and they see it in their hearts, cause they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 yeah.
Am I your enemy? Because I speak the truth on things they don't want us to see. You won't need binoculars for this, just a mirror. There was a time when our heritage was stripped, and every nigga was your brother, and you had love for their kids. They say I'm upset, but everything I said is real. Wake Jacob up next, but they don't wanna know what's real. So what are my options when the facts that we speak make you nauseous? Content for the fake, keep running the race like Paul, better yet keep your guard up. Praying fast in that order, stay content, I don't need more. You're full of hate like a demon, you can't imagine you being more. That's why you say the laws are done away, when the laws of God are the only way. Eternal life, better get right.
They don't even know that they gotta keep the laws, but some of my people, they don't wanna get involved. They got a veil on them, they can't even see it all. Stiff neck in their mind and they see it in their hearts, cause they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 yeah.
Seer to the laws, they not hearing that, no. Sin destroy your mind like a heart attack. We bless you like a pastor, ain't no falling back, no. Got both sticks with me, call it double stack. Christ coming back, gonna be a lot of the burning. Time is short, now is the time for the learning. Knowledge given freely, so with that we splurging. J Boogie. Here we go, 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 here we go. Have to plan them laws. Now you're more filled with the Holy Ghost. My sin came for a ride. The front seat I'm driving. Make it dance like David. Ain't no shucking and jiving. Ain't no pulpit diving. Ain't no 10% tithing. No foaming at the mouth. No breast popping out. What your pastor be talking? Find the answer, start walking. Big booty Judah, he stalking.
They don't even know that they gotta keep the laws, but some of my people, they don't wanna get involved. They got a veil on them, they can't even see it all. Stiff neck in their mind and they see it in their hearts, cause they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 they don't even know, no, no. No, 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 yeah.
Test.
My people caught up in drama. They wanna talk about commas, but we ain't got dollars. They took away our kings, then they gave us Donald. Let's talk about problems, cause we got problems. Look, this is something you should know. We've been brought down very low. They don't want you to know. Shame on thee, shame on thee, shame on thee. How could you all forget about slavery? I can't forget what they did to me. So let's talk about slavery. How could you all forget about slavery? We gon' talk about slavery. Chains on my neck and on my mind. Have you ever seen a grown man cry. How can you? How can you forget?
You asked me, Kanye was right. Supposed to be slaves, we ain't put up a fight. Still thinking these nations gonna help us get right. But we fooling ourselves, still searching for light. Watching for this nation, they can't help. These bills ain't going to pay themselves. Pray to God that he can save my soul. Spirit getting wiser, but my flesh getting old. Thanking God every day that I woke up awoke. Hypocritical religions won't wipe out the moat. Cast a beam out the eyes like the sun arose. Swearing they repented, but they keep blowing smoke. Now it's not the time to stand or fall. America won't last long. Repent, the kingdom is at hand. These laws will turn you to a man. You know that we about it, cause we gon' keep on rising. I'ma always be a prophet while you sitting back watching. We gon' run it like an option, like a god, I'm alive it. And you know that you can stop it, it's real, we multiplying. Yo, tell these heathens stop lying. Take it flat like a sparrow. Most high, sending off the arrow. Fine water, stay on the path, straight and narrow.
Slavery, chains on my neck and on my mind. I can never see you grow and cry. This time you realize we can't forget slavery. Chains on my neck and on my mind. Have you ever seen a grown man cry? How could you forget?
I wish I could be. No time for the boy unless I'm sipping red. Make sure I reverence the priest. Yeah, these verses to your rescue like Chip and Dale. See, my mind was in prison. Couldn't correlate with the lies and the killing. Not wasting my time with the time I was given. I ain't trying to be left. I want to be delivered in the fire of the furnace. Never lukewarm, I let the fire keep burning. Kill the opponent like a matador, Lord. Help me turn the tides of the river and toss my trials like a catapult. Too many called and gone. Too many falling short. Show them who we are so we can call you more. So they can't cry anymore. Praise ye the Lord. Everyone praise ye the Lord. Everyone all in accord. If you're ready for war, every man gird up your swords. Every man gird up your loins. The oppression I pour. Who gon' stand for the Lord? Who gon' fight for the Lord? Ain't running anymore. Ain't running anymore. Stay with it.
Slavery, chains on my neck and on my mind. I can never see you grow and cry. This time you realize we can't forget slavery. Chains on my neck and on my mind. Have you ever seen a grown man cry? How could you forget?
One nigga, two nigga, one's a figure, others a killer. One live, one dies, one true, but many lies. Both called from God, both got the meaning for living life. Both had the knowledge to kill a life, but now comes a choice, live or die. Now let's go back to the basics. Already know that they racist. Figured you force trading places, but we the ones playing blameless. As a whole nation, we shameless. Party, party, let's get lit. Pookie water, roll colors, got his wig split. One more victim to the brother that remain nameless. I don't even know who we are anymore. They don't consider what we lost. Comfort in the lowest place to fall. To make a change or remain lost. One high, one low, one deals, others a whole. Both sick, both poor, both can't seem to keep their legs closed. Speak love, love lusting, know when to leave her after they busting down. When the sea come, teach them never trust them. Generating monsters and destroying other gems. Now let's go back to the basics. Already know that they played us. Figured you force traded places, but we the ones playing blameless. Against God's laws, we all transgress. Tell them, man, you good as you undress. Knowing tears come when he confess. Ain't no relation, now get dressed.
Why, God, why me? They don't know they need the answers. Teach them man how to first stand up. Pleading with sin gets no answers. And you know God is watching. For him to help you with change. Stop taking steps to the flames. And realize what your name. I am Israel. 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 I am Israel.
Shalom, shalom,
Shalom,
Israel. Most High Christ
bless.
bless. You are now tuned in to the Natives Hour,
Our
where we come on here teaching our people who they are according to the Bible. All right. So I'm Officer Gad from the tribe of Gad, by the way.
Officer Halez, tribe of Ephraim.
Officer Pagiel, tribe of Asher.
All praise to the Most High. So here on the Natives Hour, what we going over today is a continuation of last week,
That's right.
where this month is supposedly so-called Hispanic Heritage Month.
Right.
I think it's from September 20-something through October 15th or something like that.
Yeah, middle of the month.
Right, the middle of the month, the middle of September to the middle of October.
Yeah.
Hispanic Heritage Month, where our schools and society, America, teaches us Hispanic history. The reason why I do that because they don't go far back enough to show the so-called Hispanics their true history.
Exactly.
They only go far back enough where Hispanics could fight in the wars,
Right.
build up the buildings, work for the white man. That's
Right.
as far as it go.
Right. Same
That's
thing
as
as
far as it
like the so-called African Americans. All they teach you is slavery. They don't teach you anything prior to that.
Yep. So here on the Natives Hour, we are targeting. You hear that? We targeting people. We targeting the so-called Hispanics and Native American Indians, the Cubans, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans,
Dominicans.
the Dominicans, the Native
Peruvians.
Americans, the Peruvians,
Brazilians.
the Brazilians,
Nicaraguans.
the Nicaraguans, the
Venezuelan.
Guatemalans.
Right.
We targeting all of you.
All
That's what we here for tonight.
right.
We here to let you know what's going on in the world, in the Hispanic world. So let's get started. Let's look up that. What is Hispanic Heritage Month? What is Hispanic Heritage Month? Not this one. Go to the other one. Yep, that's it. What is Hispanic Heritage Month? Because a lot of people don't know that. I didn't even know this was his so-called Hispanic Heritage Month. That's crazy because in the middle of his Hispanic Heritage Month is Columbus Day.
Right.
And Columbus Day is known worldwide
As a killer.
as a killer and a murderer and a colonizer. But they put it in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month. Ain't that something? All right, let's read that. Let's read that. Go ahead, Pagia, read that.
Each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15 to October 15 by celebrating their histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central South America.
Breaking news, y'all. You Hispanics, you so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, your ancestors came from Israel.
That's
Right.
right.
That's who your ancestors are. Your ancestors are in the Bible. I just want to make that known, but go ahead.
The observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15, ending on October 15. It was enacted into law on August 17, 1988, under approval of Public Law 100-402. The day of September 15 is significant because it is the anniversary of independence of Latin American countries, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua.
So it says it is significant because, hold on, go back up a little bit. Because it is the anniversary of independence for Latin America. So they independent, so to say. They independent, right? Read on.
In addition, Mexico, Chile celebrate their independence days on September 16 and September 18, respectively. Also, Columbus Day,
What?
Columbus Day, or Dia de la Raza, which is October 12th, falls within this 30-day period.
That makes no sense at all. If you celebrating a independence of a people that was once in slavery or colonized, why would you put the man that colonized them in the same month? Think about that. Columbus Day, which is October 12th, falls within this 30-day period. So your Independence Day, you still got to celebrate your slavery. You still got to think about the dude that came over here and murdered millions of your ancestors in your month.
Right.
I'm trying to understand why they put respectively there.
Respectively, because America adores Columbus.
That's a slap in the face.
It really is.
Right. That's like imagine taking the Jewish people right, and on their Yom Kippur putting Adolf Hitler Day.
Right.
Hey, do you know this world would go crazy? Bruh, if America did that, every country would go to war to America right now.
Right. Right.
Put Hail Hitler Day in
It'd be an uprise.
Hail Hitler Day in the middle of a Jewish celebration month.
Right.
Damn.
In the middle of their bar mitzvah.
Right.
Say, hey, by the way, today's Adolf Hitler
Right,
Day,
today's
guys.
Hitler Day, y'all. Man, they'll stone you, man. All right, so let's go to the term Hispanic real quick. Let's get the understanding on that. Let's get the understanding on the term Hispanic.
Hispanic. The term Hispanic, Spanish, Espanol, or Hispanico, broadly refers to the people, nations, and cultures that have historical link to the Spanish language, or the country of Spain.
Or the what?
The country of Spain.
So here's a realization to all my so-called Hispanics out there. Have you ever been to Spain? If you ain't never been to Spain, then guess what, brothers and sisters? You ain't Hispanic.
That's right.
Look, it say the term Hispanic broadly refers to the people, nations, and cultures that have a historical link to the Spanish language or a historical link to the country of Spain.
Right.
None of y'all never been to Spain.
Right.
Right.
Unless
You can
say
barely pay your
was-
rent. Ain't no way you going to Spain.
Right.
Unless you was on a cargo slave ships.
Right.
That's about it.
Read on, bruh.
Depending on the context, it commonly applies to countries once under
Colonial?
colonial possession.
All right, let's stop right there. It commonly applies to countries under colonial possession. Let's click on that. Colonial possession. Watch this, y'all. So I was talking to the brothers on the way here. I'm gonna tell you, Esau, the so-called white man, God calls him Esau, Edom, Idumea.
Right.
He is crafty, man. I'm gonna tell you how. When you think of Black History Month, they teach about slavery a little bit. They teach that blacks were oppressed.
Right.
Blacks were slaves. They were put on slave ships. Their names were changed. Da 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 da. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King. They needed saviors to help them. When they teach of Hispanic Heritage Month, they never teach that the Hispanics were enslaved.
That's right.
Right.
They never teach that
That's
the
true.
Hispanics were sold on slave ships.
That's true.
They never teach that the Hispanics were colonized by the same people that destroyed the black man in America.
Bring it out.
They never teach that.
And you know
And
what's,
go ahead.
you know what's crazy? Everybody know of Columbus.
Right.
So what the hell Columbus came here for?
But you know what they teach? They teach Columbus came here and sat down with the Tainos and the indigenous people, and they all got along and had a good time. The reason why they do that is because they don't want the so-called Hispanics, who God calls Israel,
Right.
to be able to relate
Join
to
together.
Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
That's right.
So they say, you know what? We're going to give them Black History Month. We're going to teach everybody that the blacks were slaves
Yeah.
below everybody. We're going to give Hispanics a History Month. We're going to teach them that they were always loved.
Right.
They were always joined with the white man. Not understanding that the reason why they're doing that is to cause division.
Right.
That's all it is, to cause division.
Right. That's why I had brought that up, because I was letting them know that we're not being taught our true history prior to 1492 or 1619, because they don't want us to make that to understand that we're the same people.
Right.
We are literally the same people, and we have the same history. The only thing, the English conquered our brothers, the so-called blacks,
Right.
and the Spaniards were the ones that colonized the so-called Hispanics, who are
Right.
really the Israelites that the Bible
Yep.
speaks of.
Same people, same enemy, y'all.
And
That's right.
The thing is also, if we all came together, we'll realize that we are not the minorities. We're the majority.
Hey, we gonna go over that. We gonna go over that. Believe that. Read on though. Read on.
What was I?
The term.
The time. Oh, the term is derived from Latin word color, which means to inhabit. Also, colonization refers strictly to migration. For example, to settler colonies in America or Australia.
Jump down to the third paragraph. Colonization.
Colonization was linked to the spread of tens of millions from Western European states all over the world.
Now think about this. It says that Hispanic was conquered, right? Colonized. This says colonization was linked to the spread of tens of millions from Western European states all over the world. How could you get all over the world if you're being colonized?
Right.
You can't freely go.
That doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense. That means you were sold.
Right.
Force.
You were shipped across the world.
Conquered.
Right. You were conquered. You were sold on slave ships. The same thing that happened to our brothers Judah, Benjamin, and Levi happened to us. Let me get that. Let me get that. Jeremiah. Give me that. Jeremiah 50:33. Real quick. Jeremiah 50:33, right? Yep. Come on.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts,
Mm-hmm.
the children of Israel
The children of Israel,
and the children of Judah
the children of Judah would be today the American blacks, the West Indian blacks, and the Haitian blacks. The children of Israel would be the so-called Hispanics, Native American Indians. You are the children of Israel.
That's right.
God is talking to you. He's saying the Hispanics and Native American Indians and the blacks, read.
were oppressed together.
God says y'all went through the same exact oppression. So you got to ask yourself, what did American black, West Indian black, and Haitian blacks go through? Well, they was put on slave ships.
Right.
Their names was changed. They were colonized.
Language taken away
Language
from them.
taken away.
Culture.
Heritage taken. So you got to basically put your history up to the American blacks, the Haitians, and West Indian blacks.
Right. Can we prove that real quick?
Absolutely.
Can I bring up something when you're done with that?
Yeah, so if your history matches that, God is saying you are Israel.
That's right.
Right.
If your history matches that, that's who you are. Go ahead, officer.
Get pull up Yokes of Iron, and let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48 real quick. And I want you to Google Yokes of Iron and images and see what's the first nation that pops up. We're gonna make sure to connect the dots here. We're gonna show you that the same thing that blacks went through, the so-called Hispanic Latinos went through as well. Let's read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
So it said that we would end up serving our enemies because we didn't keep the commandments when you read verse 15. And we would, the curses that would come were such things such as food, mangoes, and rice and corn, and things that we had as natural resources that were a blessing for us that came freely, where now we would have to serve our enemies for those things. Let's read.
And in nakedness.
And in thirst, the water's also a natural resource. You can't even collect rainwater. Let's go. And in nakedness.
and in nakedness,
Meaning
and,
all your clothes will be is made in China, made in Thailand. Let's read.
and in want of all things.
So the Hispanic, Latinos, and blacks in one of all things. You want a credit card, you want a loan, a mortgage, an education, a religion. We have to serve our enemies. Read.
And he
This is the point here. Read.
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So when you Google that, you know that Google gives us a lot of information. You can find pretty much anything on Google. So you see the so-called blacks here had yokes of iron around their necks. Now pull up that picture that I put on the on our group. Tupac Amaru, the Incan Empire, the Incan king from Peru in South America. Let's see how they took him to his execution. We're gonna connect the dots. That's Tupac Amaru. This was during the 15th century. Let's go to the next picture. When the Spaniards came, go to the next picture. Now blow it up. I want everybody online to see that. Okay, read that last sentence again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So as you can see, this is Tupac Amaru. At that time, we didn't have cameras or anything, so Bartolomeu de las Casas would also draw things. And as you can see, he has a leash being led to his execution like a dog with a yoke of iron around his neck.
Wait a minute. I kept hearing say, wait a minute. So you telling me that the Hispanics had yokes of iron on their necks? They not Asians? They not Chinese? No, you. Wait, I almost said something. You idiots! We fit the curses. If you fit the curses, what does that make you? An Israelite.
That's right.
That's who you are.
Can I get a video?
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, Cap, can you pull up the link, the last link I sent? Because a lot of Hispanics don't know that they went into slavery. And we got a sister here. She always goes into that. You know, she's a little woke. So go to find the part 1 on the right side. The video that says part 1. Yep.
Hey, this is a heavy video.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
Somebody need to get us just a flyer.
Yeah, it's posted. Oh, you posted part 2?
Oh, okay. Yeah, copy the link and just copy the title and just put part 1.
Yeah, man. So here on the Native Hour, man, we going over Hispanic Heritage Month. We gonna teach true heritage to our brothers and sisters.
That's right.
From Mexico, Puerto Rico, Cuba, South America,
Bring it out.
America.
Right.
We gonna teach all y'all true history tonight on the Natives Hour. That's what we gonna do.
Because if we don't do it, who gonna do it?
Ain't nobody gonna do it. They gonna tell you to hold hands with Christopher Columbus and accept those the bed sheets again. Go ahead, bro.
All right, start at 3 minutes.
The concept of zero and decimal point, and we had the world's most accurate calendar, and we also were creators of books, libraries, and the very first people to have mandatory education. Mandatory education meaning females and males were being educated irregardless of your class, irregardless of your status. That was unheard of in the world at that time that we created that concept. If you want to read more about what contributions we provided to the world, we have a book that we recommend. I don't think we brought it with us today, but it's called American Indian Contributions to the World by Kyoki, and you can find that on Amazon, your local library, hopefully. So that will get you more of an idea of who we were before 1492 and 1519. It's really important for you to understand what we had established as a people prior to the European invasion, because we don't have that point of view. We don't get that information. If you take Chicano studies, they do not start with the Olmec. They do not start with the Maya, the Mexica. They start in 1519. They start in 1492. They probably dedicate one chapter or two to what was here before the invasion. And that's a total dishonor to...
So what she's saying is that whenever you take Hispanic studies, they always start their history as slaves.
Right.
Whenever the Southern Kingdom, which is the Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so-called African Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, when they look into their history, it always starts as slavery.
Right.
That's why in Jeremiah 50:33, it said we are oppressed together.
So basically, they both of their histories start off with slavery.
That's right. The same.
Oppressed together.
Right.
Damn.
And they don't want them to know anything about what they used to do, the cultures that they used to keep, the traditions, and all that. Yeah, that's it on that video.
All right, here we go, y'all. We gonna get into the meat and potatoes right now. Get
Our history, that's a
hold
total.
on, hold on. Get let me see. I want y'all I want to show y'all something. More than one voice. Get that. I want to show y'all something. This is how Americans feel. This is how America feel about you, Hispanics and Native Indians.
Bring it out.
More than one voice. It's on Native Zawa, posted at 2:56. Because we're going to teach y'all the history that they don't want y'all to know. Watch this. Go ahead, play that thing.
Hey.
Blow it up.
My hair. Do I look at it?
Who's gonna start, me or?
She's Nika.
Hold on. No, I'm sorry. Pause. Now this is, remember, it says more than one voice, hashtag We La Gente, hashtag Hispanic Heritage Month. Let's see if any facts was brought out about who the Hispanics are, what they did, or even anything about a Hispanic heritage.
Bring it
anything.
out.
Watch this.
I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised in Brooklyn.
U.S. born, first generation.
From Brooklyn, New York.
Palm Springs, California.
Caracas, Venezuela.
And I'm Colombian. And I'm from Argentina.
Raised in Boston. My mom and my dad are from Puerto Rico.
Soy mitad chino y mitad mexicano de Sinaloa.
It was both languages. Spanglish, Spanish at home, obviously, y inglés afuera de la casa.
This is home, yeah. Has been home for a long time, yeah.
With all of our differences and all of our many similarities, we create what this nation represents.
And I think it's in the core of the Constitution, even just reading the first sentences.
It's we the people, it's not just like certain people.
Para mí, pues, la Constitución es una inspiración.
This is why I came to this country.
We, la gente de los Estados Unidos.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Establecer la justicia, asegurar la tranquilidad interior.
Provide for the common defense. Promover el bienestar general.
Y asegurar los beneficios de la libertad.
Para nosotros y para nuestra posteridad.
Decretamos y establecemos esta Constitution for the United States de América.
Watch, no, let it play. Let it play. Stop it right there. What's the whole point of the commercial, y'all? What's the whole point of that commercial?
Make people sign up for Xfinity.
Xfinity!
They selling, man.
Cable TV! I looked at this, I said, this is a damn shame. Not one bit of history was told about the Hispanics.
Right.
Not one.
Nothing.
And at the end of it, it got Xfinity.
Right.
Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with us. What are you celebrating? You just pushing cable TV. That's it.
I can't even tell what the hell they were talking about.
And I'm going to tell you, ain't no way in hell everybody on there was Hispanic. Ain't no way.
No way.
Impossible.
Nope.
A lot of them, a lot of them bought Rosetta Stone and learned how to speak Spanish.
Right.
Go ahead, Cap. Go ahead. But you got to understand how this is misleading. Hispanic Heritage Month. You won't even know that this is a Comcast commercial.
Right.
They are using you to sell product.
Right.
They say he say he's a redhead from Venezuela. No way. You migrated to Venezuela. You went there willingly. Ain't no way that dude is Hispanic, man. I gotta talk to him. But the reason why I bring this up because I saw this thing and I said, goodness gracious, man, this is crazy. When you look at it, at face value, you think, okay, they about to go over some Heritage Month. They about to say some history, some facts.
Right.
But not one. The only point of this commercial was to push product. Was to push you getting Comcast for cable. That's crazy, man. I just want to bring that out.
Hey.
Give me the next video. Get me, nope. Yes, is that the Young Lords? 305? Well, here we go. All right, so we're going to go over history for y'all. If y'all don't know about the Young Lords were a Puerto Rican revolutionary group in New York that came out of the civil rights era and made a huge impact in the Big Apple. They don't teach this in school, man.
Right.
They don't teach this right here is what you should be what's the word?
Learning.
You should be learning.
Right.
This is what you should be taking hold of, your history.
Right.
How your ancestors, your brothers and sisters fought against oppression.
Bring it out.
They didn't say, well, I love this country. No, your ancestors fought for you to do what you're doing today.
Right.
They didn't fight for you to assimilate. They fought so that you could have freedom in this country.
Right. They would be equivalent to the Colin Kaepernicks of the 70s.
Right.
The ones that were standing up because they saw that their people were being mistreated. I'm an 80s baby, Officer Gad, and I never heard about the Young Lords throughout my whole, from first grade all the way to college. I had to do self-research to find out what the Young Lords' whole movement was, who was involved, and what it was about.
And you know what? That's crazy because what they do is they don't put it out there so that fellow American Puerto Ricans can never follow in the footsteps that they did.
Right.
That's right.
Just like they dismantled the Black Panther Party so that the blacks don't do that. They dismantled the Young Lords,
right?
The Chicano movement,
right? The Brown
AIM,
Berets,
all of that. And we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over that. This is the history that they need to be teaching us. How our people fought against oppression. Go ahead, play that.
Latin answer to the civil rights movement of the 1960s. It was the Young Lords, whose legacy for social change in predominantly Puerto Rican and underserved communities throughout New York City is still being felt today.
It was one of the most active and successful organizations of the 1960s. The Young Lords considered themselves revolutionaries. They believed in the independence of Puerto Rico, which they believed would only come about through revolution, but they also considered themselves socialists. And they fought racism and police violence and brutality in poor neighborhoods of East Harlem, the South Bronx, and the Lower East Side.
The Young Lords were a group of first-generation Puerto Rican college students who took their cues from Marxism philosophy and
We'll go to
the
3
civil
minutes,
rights
Cap.
movement. They embraced other young minorities into their organization.
They engaged in protests that were savvy, strategic, that involved the community. They occupied Lincoln Hospital right here in the Bronx. They engaged in protests around issues of public health. They burned garbage in East Harlem to protest poor sanitation services there. And they won tremendous reforms.
All of this history has been dramatically documented in Presente, the Young Lords in New York exhibits at the Bronx Museum of Art, El Museo del Barrio, and the Loisaida Ink Center. Each cultural site tells a story of the Young Lords in that part of the city with striking photos, video, art,
Stop.
and
Pause
other
it. I
archival
wanted to pause right there.
What the
yeah.
museum has done
Go
here,
back.
what
Go
the
back.
museum has done.
And
Go back to
other
the march.
story of the Young Lords in that part of the city with striking photos.
Right there. I want y'all to look at this right there. Now, if you take a picture of the Black Panther movement and put it side by side, somebody tell me the difference.
Nothing.
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Because we are the same people.
That's right.
Going through the same oppression.
Bring it out.
Why don't we fight together? You understand? If we would have fought together, they would have, oh my goodness. It's a reason, it's a time and place for everything. I understand why the Most High didn't allow us to come together at that time. Because they would have exterminated us. We would be no more in America.
Right.
They'd have told us to go back to Africa. Think about it, because we're going to get to the Chicano movement or the Brown Berets. They had 3,000 marching. They had the largest protests out of the Black Panthers, the Young Lords. They had the large. They used to march by the thousands, 3,000-4,000 at a time. Just imagine if we all would have came together and did that thing. Oh man, it would have been
colossal.
It would have been over. Let me get a script real quick. Give me Zephaniah, bro. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 1. The Most High is calling us to come together. I'm going to tell you, you Hispanics who think that your history is different, just stick around. Just stick around. Your heritage ain't no different from the blacks, the Native Americans,
right,
the Haitians, the Jamaicans. We all got the same heritage. Esau, the colonizer, just separated. Go ahead, read that.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
O what?
O nation not desired.
O nation not desired. This is not desired. Name me one white man that ever had to march for civil rights.
Bring it out.
Name me one Asian man that ever had to march for civil rights. Can't name one.
Right.
Oh, hell, name me 20. Because we was marching by the hundreds, by the thousands.
Right.
For a nation of people to have to fight for civil rights, that means you are undesired. Read that again.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together.
God says gather together. Why? Because they ain't teaching you the truth. They don't want you to learn your history.
Right.
Because when you separate it, now you a lone sheep getting devoured by the wolf. But when you come back to who you are, come back to your nationality, come back to your God, come back to your Father. Read on.
O nation not desired.
We not a desired nation. Go to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. Let's find out what we need to gather to. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 1. Read that.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, by our gathering.
And what? Read it again. And what?
By our Lord Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
And by our gathering.
Our gathering
together unto him.
That's what we need to do. We need to come gather together under Christ.
That's right.
And keep God's commandments. Because when we do that, we don't have to worry about civil rights. We don't have to worry about marching no more. We don't have to worry about being shot down. Hell, a cop can go in your house and be confused like it's his house.
Uh-oh.
And shoot you in your own house.
Bring it out.
And then get a GoFundMe for thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Damn.
How does that happen? How does that happen? That makes no sense.
This is America.
How does that happen, bro? I'm actually like a legitimate question. How can that happen? If we are desired, how can that happen?
Right.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. This is what we living in. We living in oppression. We living in a society that hates a certain nation of people.
Right.
Because they don't hate everybody. They don't. Hell, I ain't never seen Donald Trump call nobody coming from China drug dealers, rapists,
right,
murderers. Hell, Chinese people come over here all the time.
Right.
I ain't never heard Donald Trump say, "Oh, China, they're sending the worst." The people from Israel, they're sending the worst. The people from Germany, they're sending their worst. They're drug dealers. They're murderers. I ain't never heard Donald Trump say that. Right. But when he talk about Mexico, when he talk about our brothers and sisters Issachar, they say, "Oh, Mexico's sending their worst. They're rapists. They're drug dealers. They're gangbangers." You ain't desired in this land. You're not desired in the world.
Right.
Go ahead. Let's play on.
Video, art, and other archival materials.
What the museum has done here is amazing. It's important that this be gathered, that this not be lost, that what we did was not in the vain. I mean, I know that we made an impact at that time, but very rarely are we credited for what we did.
Stop.
One of their biggest.
The sister said, we made an impact, but very rarely are we credited for what we did. You'll never be credited in this land, sister. The only way you're going to be credited is by keeping God's commandments.
That's right.
That's it. That's the only way you're going to win. That's the only way you're going to win. Go ahead.
Biggest impacts was when they took over an East Harlem church, which wasn't providing any services to the community. The Young Lords renamed it the People's Church.
For the 11 days that we had the church, we had a breakfast program. We had free medical clinic for the community. We had cultural events. It was the first.
Man, we might be all day on this video. The young lords took over a church because they wasn't doing nothing for the community. Are we doing that today? We see something's wrong. We see, damn, these churches ain't doing nothing. They keep taking our money, but for some reason, we keep going every Sunday. Our ancestors fought against oppression and said, you know what? We taking over this church. And in this church, we're going to provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. We're going to provide aid to the sick. We're going to provide school training. That's what they was doing.
Kind of the same thing the Black Panthers did.
Same thing the Black Panthers did. And it's crazy because they did the same thing to the T.
Right.
What our brothers Judah did. Did the same exact thing. Go ahead, Les. What you got? You got something?
Yeah, actually, I want to know if we could touch on this real quick, but why was it destroyed? What happened that destroyed the whole movement? Right. So I wanted to show something. I wanted to give everybody a quick fact real quick. I put up a picture on the group of Geraldo Rivera. Because believe it or not, as far as the Young Lords are concerned, he was actually one of the main revolutionaries that was a part of the movement. And a lot of our brothers and sisters don't know that. They're like, who? Geraldo Rivera, that white Spanish guy that's on TV now, that always out in Iraq and Afghanistan, or out being a weatherman for the white man and all that. Right. In the beginning, he was a revolutionary for our people. Let's blow that up. You got Juan Gonzalez, Felipe Luciano, Pablo Guzman, and none other than Geraldo Rivera. Somebody go ahead and get Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. All these men are no longer a part of the movement, and this is why. Let's read.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
So at one point, they understood the reason why they were oppressed. They understood they had to gather together, but they didn't know it was under the laws. But the oppression made them upset. So they came together with one mind, one body, one spirit to say, you know what, we got to take care of our people because America's not taking care of us. We got to take care of each other. Read that again.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Part of being wise is understanding that all these other Arabs, Chinese, Japanese, whites, they hate us. They hate us. That's part of the wisdom that they had. These people don't love us, and they're not going to help us. But let's see. Let's keep reading.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
But a gift destroyeth the heart. Officer Pagiel, can you read Geraldo Rivera right below there?
Geraldo Rivera.
Uh-huh.
Geraldo has worked for ABC and Fox, as well as hosted his own talk show.
He's had his own talk show. So somebody came and said, you know what? Hey, let that go. You struggling? I'll cut you a paycheck. I can give you a voice. Read Juan Gonzalez. What does he do?
Where is it at?
Right above it says.
Juan Gonzalez.
Uh-huh.
New York Daily News.
Felipe Luciano.
NBC, CBS, Fox.
Scroll down, and let's get Pablo Guzman.
WCBS TV News.
TV News. So what do you think they did? What did they do? What was the counsel that our enemies had in order to stop the movement? They had to go to the head figures of the movement and give them a gift. Because what does it do? Read it again.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
That gift that they gave them was success, prosperity in America, and they forgot all about their people.
Yep.
And now what are they doing? They're working for high corporate America, and they forgot all about their people back in New York, back in Chicago, back in Florida. They forgot all about the Young Lords.
Hey, that's heavy, man. That's heavy. The founders and the leaders of this group was dismantled by jobs, money. Because that's what, hell, you know what they did? Remember when they asked Hillary Clinton, is she going to give reparations to the blacks in America? She said, no, we're going to give them jobs.
Right.
Donald Trump said the same thing. We're going to supply more jobs for them. You know why? Because give me Sirach chapter 38, verse 24. Sirach 38, 24. This is why.
The book.
Watch this.
Of Sirach, chapter 28, verse.
Hey, man, our enemy is crafty, man.
For real.
Very crafty. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure.
Coming by when you ain't got nothing else to do. Come by when all you can do is sit back and get mad with your oppression.
Right.
To the point where you say, you know what? Hey, Patrick, hey, Halez, we all oppressed, right? Let's form a group. Let's form a group that we can fight back. You see what our brothers, the American blacks did? We could do the same thing. We ain't got no jobs. We poor. We broke. Our communities need help. Let's form a group and fight against oppression. Read it again.
The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure.
Ain't got nothing else to do, read.
And he that hath little business shall become wise.
Them brothers ain't had no opportunity like they got now. So the only thing they had to do was ponder on their oppression. That what made them form the group. But the white men say, you know what? Let's give we don't want to give the 6th in command a high-paying job. We don't want to give the 10th in command a high-paying job. Let's give the top 4 a high-paying job to make them understand that they not oppressed no more. And once we do that, the organization will crumble.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's right.
A gift destroyed the heart.
That's right.
Play on.
That Pedro Petri read Puerto Rican obituary publicly. So we kind of demonstrated what we could do with space and very little money, but resources from the community.
The exhibition shows how the Young Lords organized as a paramilitary party and dressed the part, too.
We were at war with the U.S. government, and you brought it down, and we were, at war with the city government. With all our bravado, being 18 and 22 years old.
Stop. Pause it.
Yes.
Y'all see the AKs in the back, right?
Bring it out.
Health, food, housing, education. Let's see if that's in the Bible. Give me Deuteronomy 28. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, and you know what I want. Give me verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48.
Come on.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
God says the Israelites will be in oppression, will be in bondage, slavery, cursed, and we was going to serve our enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee. In hunger.
In what?
In hunger.
You see that right there? One of them AK-47 says food.
So
that's a curse. They were fighting for food.
Right.
Read on.
And in thirst.
Food. Come on.
And in nakedness.
Come on.
And in want of all things.
In what?
In want of all things.
Health, housing, education,
Bring it
food.
out. Bring
That's
it
the
out.
want of all things.
Right.
To the point where you had to actually take over a church by force to get those things for, I think it was for a week.
Right.
I think it was for a week. You was only allowed a week before they came in and raided everybody. Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
We went over that earlier with Officer Halez. Read.
Until he had destroyed thee.
And now we destroyed.
Right.
Now we so destroyed that we think that because of what we did back then, we don't have to continue to fight today.
Right.
We think that, well, hell, I was a part of the Young Lords back then. What we did was positive, but yet you go home to a white woman. You go home to a white man. You go home and still hate your brother. You go home and still call yourself Hispanic. Right. We don't understand that we got to continue to fight. We got to endure to the end.
Right.
We can't fight for 5 years and then now we old, now we done fighting. Nah.
Right.
We got to continue to fight. As you can see, this is, what it say? The Spanish and Portuguese. Oh, no, I can't see that. Let me see.
It says in the 16th century, the traffic fired to supply the needs of the country. Colonization of Brazil.
The colonization of Brazil. Don't y'all see yokes of iron put around their necks?
Right.
They got iron around their necks. We just read it in the Bible.
Can I get a
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Go ahead, officer.
Let me get Lamentations chapter 5, verse 5. Because the young lords, you know, they seen that they were being oppressed. So what they did something about it. Read that.
Lamentation chapter 5, verse 5. Our necks are under persecution.
What happened? Read it again.
Our necks are under persecution.
The Puerto Ricans' necks were under persecution. It happened in 1492, 1500, and still during the young lords. That's why they fought against it. If you don't feel like you're in oppression, it's because you are in the system.
That's right. They got you. They got you what they call?
In the matrix.
Bamboozled, in the matrix. You in the sunken place.
Right.
They got you. They have accomplished what they have come to do.
Right.
Go to the next article. Let me see. Hold on. Let me find it. It's the 13-point program. 13-point program. Watch this, y'all. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna tell you, the Most High was definitely with these brothers and sisters, but the waters wasn't risen to that level yet.
Right.
You understand? Everything that went down during that time was for a reason, so that we can do what we do today. So we can go out in the street and prophesy to the top of our lungs, and we got to worry about getting hit across the head with a baton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can actually, they made a law, what is it, freedom of protest?
Right.
We can actually go out and march down the street and chant. Some of us used to be in the gang.
Right.
Some of us used to sell drugs, and we got to worry about getting dogs sick on us. So what our brothers and sisters did during this time was mighty.
That's right.
Was very mighty.
Exercising their rights.
Exercising their rights.
Little
They
bit of
were the
rights
heroes during that time.
Right.
They were the heroes, and they should be remembered. So when you say Hispanic Heritage Month, you should be actually teaching the Hispanic history.
Bring it out.
How our forefathers fought against oppression.
Right.
That's what you should be teaching. If you're going to teach us our history.
Not Xfinity?
Nah, not Comcast. Don't teach us to buy the
Right.
talking remote.
Who's your internet service provider?
Come on, man. But then you got hashtag Hispanic Heritage Month. Come on, man.
Right. Smoke.
Go ahead. So this is what the Young Lords did. They came up with a 13-point program, or they called it, it's the same thing as laws. They had laws to govern their what's the word I'm looking for? They had laws to govern their movement.
Okay.
They had laws to govern their movement. So let's read verse 1. Let's read the first one. Read that.
We want self-determination.
Hold on. Can you see that?
I can see.
Read it.
Young Lords Party, 13-point program and platform. The Young Lords Party is a revolutionary political party fighting for the liberation of all oppressed people.
All oppressed people is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's right.
That's who they fought for. Come on.
Point 1. We want self-determination for Puerto Ricans.
Ephraim. God calls you Ephraim.
That's right.
Liberation of the island and inside the United States.
So they say they want freedom of Puerto Rico and they want freedom in America.
Dang.
Read. Watch this.
For 500 years.
For what?
For 500 years.
For 500 years. Read.
First Spain and then the United States have colonized our country.
I want you to read that again. Read that part again.
For 500 years. First Spain and then United States have colonized our country.
Our brothers and sisters knew that. They knew they was oppressed. They knew America, the United States, was oppressing us.
Right.
They knew that. And a popular contrary belief, I think I said that wrong.
No, you said
contrary
it
to popular belief, the Hispanics were in slavery longer than the blacks. For 500 years.
Right.
First Spain and then United States.
You know what, Officer Gad? The reason why they stopped teaching that in school is because we realized the truth, right? We realized the truth. The Young Lords back in the 60s, 70s, and the early 80s, we realized that we were colonized for 500 years because we did our homework and we knew about Christopher Columbus.
Right.
They said in order for them to stop rising up, they have to stop learning their history.
They gotta stop learning. So you know what they did?
What's
we read
that?
about Lyndon Johnson.
Uh-huh.
He said, you know what? Let's give these Hispanics a month. Let's make them feel like we love them. Let's make them feel welcomed.
Right.
And then they say, you know what? Let's erase their history completely out of the school.
Right.
Let's not even put that in the what's the word we use? The teachers curriculum.
Right.
Let's not even put that in the curriculum to teach the students.
Right. That goes back to gift destroyeth the heart. We're going to give you 1 month.
Absolutely.
And that'll shut you up.
Gift destroyeth the heart.
That'll shut them all up. And now we can go ahead and manipulate their history.
Hey, but one thing that video said earlier, the young lords were first generation Puerto Rican immigrants. So they understood, that first generation understood they was oppressed. But
Right.
this is what Esau does. Like you said, they remove all history out of everything. So after time, through a process of time, now instead of thinking as yourself as a indigenous people of Puerto Rico, now you saying, I'm this white man, oh, that's my brother. We the same people.
Damn.
But that black man right there, nah.
Me no
You was a
negro.
slave. You was a slave. I was never a slave. I'm mixed with Spaniard now.
Right.
I'm a Spaniard.
My parents are from Spain.
Right, from Spain. Your parents never been in no doggone Spain. Hey, that's another story. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go back. Read on, Mosa.
For 500 years, first Spain and then United States have colonized our country. Billions of dollars in profit leave our country for the United States every year.
Every year, billions of dollars in profits leave Puerto Rico to the United States. Every year. Think about this. If I'm Puerto Rican and my country is generating billions of dollars to give to America, why am I not benefiting from that in America?
Right.
Why am I not benefiting from that? Hell, Israel benefits from America, and America benefits from Israel, and both of them are immigrants to their own lands.
Right. Damn.
So if I'm an immigrant in America, but my country is supplying America with billions of dollars, why am I not being given that opportunity?
Damn.
Go ahead, read it.
In every way, we are slaves.
Read it again.
In every way, we are slaves of our gringo.
Of the gringo.
Of the gringo.
Of the white man. Our ancestors knew they were slaves of the white man. They knew that thing. They knew it, and they put it in their law.
Damn.
You had to know that.
Damn.
Think about it. That's a law. That's a law. The Brown Berets, the Young Lords, they had thousands of followers. Thousands.
Right.
They all had to learn that law. That we are slaves to the gringo.
Right. And the thing is that our people, Officer Pagiel, they think that our people only believe that a slave has to have shackles on their feet, and you got to have shackles on your neck, and you got to be sold on auction blocks today. They don't understand that even right now in this time when these men did not have shackles on their feet,
right,
did not have yokes of iron on their neck,
right, they was able to get up,
understood economically, financially, in every source of every way, they were slaves to America. Slaves.
You got to understand, that's a bold statement. In every way, we are slaves.
That's right.
Name me one, and I got to go back to this, Pagiel. Name me one country of people in America that ever admitted they were slaves to the white man. Name me one. China man never said, I'm a slave to the white man. They never said that.
Zero.
They never said that. No Arab never said they slave to the white man.
No East Indian.
No East Indian. No, give me
Chinese,
some more. No Russian, no German.
No Jewish people.
No Jewish people. Never said they were slaves to the white man. The only slaves to the white man are the Israelites.
That's right.
Know why? Because it's written in the Bible that you will be slaves to the white man.
That's right.
That you'll be slaves to the world. Read number 2.
Number 2. We want self-determination for all Latinos.
Come on.
Our Latino brother and sister.
Our Latin brothers.
Our Latin brothers and sisters inside and outside the United States are oppressed by Americans.
No, you said it wrong. America can business.
Bring it out.
You said it wrong, brother.
I was dragging the K.
Look, they know. I'm gonna tell you, man. Our forefathers, man. The Most High was definitely the Most High Spirit was with our brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
They understood they was oppressed. They didn't know how to get out completely. They didn't know.
Right.
But like I said, that you understand that gets us to where we are today.
That's right.
That same spirit that was on them brothers and sisters is on us today. But now we got the understanding that can't win without the Most High in Christ.
That's right.
We doing the same thing. We
Right.
fighting. We going to street. We teaching our people. We
Right.
telling them to repent.
Right.
We trying to supply for our people.
Right.
But now we understand that the only way that we're going to succeed with a movement is by the Most High in Christ and His laws. That's it.
Right.
Get a scripture?
Go ahead, Pedro.
Let me get Sirach 17, verse 11. Because this is Hispanic Heritage Month. And Officer Guy just said a good point. He said we can't succeed unless we have God with us.
That's right.
I'm going to show you. Read this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
The laws of God is our heritage. If
Right.
all the Hispanics and the blacks kept the Sabbath day holy, this country will die.
Would fall.
Fall.
Hey, just by, you understand, just by even, you know, Leviticus 11:7, you can't eat pork. Just by stopping the production of pork in the black and Hispanic neighborhoods, that would put the pork business out of, it go bankrupt.
Gone.
Gone, no money.
That's
right.
Out of here.
Right.
They'll be selling racks of ribs for $1.
Right. Right.
I mean, pork is already the cheapest meat you
Yeah,
can
it's
buy
already
out there.
cheap. They'll make it so cheap that they'll basically be giving you the food.
Right.
You got to ask yourself that. Why is that? Why is that? Let's go on to the next one. We're going to move on because we got to. Oh, it's 9:15. Goodness gracious. Let's go to the next one. Go down. Not that one. Not number 4. Go down. Up, never mind. Go back up. Number 4. Read number 4 with this last one. Never mind. Go back down. I don't like that one. It should be another one. Nope. We want a true education. Nope. Let me see. Nope. We oppose alliance with traitors. I think this is the one. Go back up. Down. They are paid by the citizens. Lead our people. Yep, that's the one. Read verse 7. Read number 7. That's the one.
Number 7. We oppose capitalists and aliens with our
Alliances.
Alliances. We oppose capitalists and alliances with traitors.
Watch this now. Watch this.
Puerto Rican rulers or puppets of the oppressors.
They call them puppets of the oppressor. Say, if you are with the oppressor, you are a traitor.
Damn.
You are with a traitor, right? And the same people that came up with these laws ended up becoming puppets for the oppressor.
Right.
Because the gift destroys the heart.
Yep.
Read on.
Puerto Rican rulers or puppets of the oppressor. Do not help our people.
They don't what?
Do not help our people.
Give me that in Limitations real quick.
Bring it out.
You know what I want, right? Thy prophets have seen vain things. Give me that.
4:17, I think.
4:17. Come on, Mosa.
The book of Lamentation, chapter 4, verse 17.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
As for us.
That's not it? Give me the one where it says, they have not discovered thy iniquity. What is it, chapter 2? 5? 5 and 7? Let me see. Because that's exactly what's going on right here.
That's right.
That's exactly what's going on. Let me see. 5 and... Nope, that's not it.
2:14.
Yeah, chapter 2.
The
Okay.
book of
There we go.
Lamentation.
There we go.
Chapter 2, verse 14.
Come on.
Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things
God
from thee.
says, our prophets, the people who we set over us, have seen vain things. They don't know what they're talking about. Read.
That's right. And they have not discovered thine iniquity.
They don't know how to get us out of oppression. They don't know how to get us closer to the Father. They don't know. They have not discovered our iniquities. They are not teaching us to stop sleeping around man and man, woman and woman.
Right.
They're not teaching us to stop selling dope on the block,
Right.
stop killing our people. But watch this, though. Read on. Nope. Hold that. Read verse 7. Read chapter 7 again.
Number 7.
Number 7. Read it again.
Puerto Rican rulers
Watch this.
or puppets of the oppressors do not help our people. They are paid by the system.
Come on.
To lead our people down blind
They doing
alleys.
what? They doing what?
They lead our people down blind alleys.
That's that seen vain and foolish things. Read.
Just like the thousands of poverty pimps who keep our communities peaceful for business.
They only keep that's your Al Sharptons.
For money.
That's your Jesse Jacksons. They keep who that?
Creflo.
Creflo Dollar.
That's right.
TD Jakes. They keep us peaceful so that we continue to pay that tithe money.
Bring it out.
Do you understand? And this is when Trayvon Martin got killed. A lot of people know about Trayvon Martin. He was shot by George Zimmerman, and George Zimmerman got off. Do you understand? Al Sharpton spoke at his funeral. Do you know they had to pay him, I think it was like $20,000 or something like that, for him to speak at Trayvon Martin's funeral.
Right.
So if you didn't get paid, he wasn't going to show up.
He wasn't going to show up.
You don't give a damn.
Think about that. You know how crazy that I got to pay you to speak at my son's funeral. That's crazy. Read on, Amosa, because we almost done. We got a lot more. We're going to have to do a part 3. Read on.
Or the street workers who keep gangs divided and blow each other away.
Read that again.
Or the street workers who keep gangs divided and blow each other away.
You understand what they saying? They saying that it's people that are paid to keep the gangs killing each other. It's people that are planted on the street just to keep our brothers and sisters killing each other in the gangs.
Bring it out.
Read on.
We want a society where the people socialistically control their labor.
Go down. We're going to read one more. Go down. We're going to read one more. We oppose America. Yep, absolutely. Go down. Freedom of all. Go down. We want, nope, go down. There's one more. We fought, nope, that's not, we believe in armed self. Nope, I think it's 13. We want a socialist society. Yep, that's it. Read that.
Point 13. We want liberation, clothing.
We want freedom.
Can you read that above, right above point 13? Because that goes hand in hand with it.
Boricua is awake. All pigs beware.
They meant business.
Yeah, but we ain't trying to kill nobody.
Nah.
But like I said, our brothers and sisters, they was on that level back then. Oppression make them mad. They didn't understand how to do it spiritually.
Right.
So they only knew how to do it carnally, and it failed. But that's why we here today. The Most High woke us back. We the same people that was doing that. That was us.
That's right.
That was us. But the Most High now woke us back up, brought us back, and now he's given us the spiritual side of it.
Right.
We've already dealt with the carnal side of it, and we failed. Now we're back. Now we're dealing with the spiritual side of it. Because all of us still feel like that. Every last one of us still feels oppressed.
Right.
Still feels the need to help our people. But now we got the spiritual side of it. Go ahead, read verse 13.
13. We want a socialist society.
Oh.
We want liberation, clothing, free food.
Free food. Remember, we read in Deuteronomy, right? We read in Deuteronomy 28. You shall serve your enemy in the want of all things. Read on.
Education,
Uh-huh.
health care, transportation, utilities, and employment for all.
Now, if we was free, if we was so-called, what they say, united, divided we fall, united we stand.
Yeah.
If this was the think about it, the name of the country is the United States of America.
Right.
If we so united, why we gotta fight for liberation, clothing, food, education, health care, transportation, utilities, jobs?
Right, because Officer Gad, we still doing this today, right?
Yeah, we still doing that to this day.
So why are we celebrating independence?
Think about that. Why? Hey, think about this. Why have they given us Hispanic Heritage Month? Is that a gift?
That's a gift that's
Stuff that
destroying
make
the
you go,
mind.
To put you to sleep.
Is that a gift that's going to make us believe that we're not the same people that fought against oppression?
Right.
It's the same thing. Esau's using the same tactics they did back in the day.
That's right.
They gave our forefathers a gift. Now they're giving us this.
And our people still falling for that.
Huh? Right. You know they say the land of the free, the home of the brave.
Bring it out.
This ain't the land of the free. We got to fight for free food.
Land of the slaves.
We got to fight for education, for clothing.
Right.
This ain't the land of the free. This is the home of the slave.
That's right.
Hey, go to the next one, Cap.
Hold
Go
on.
to, oh, you got, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go to Psalm 83. Let me get verse 3. Because number 7, can you scroll up to number 7, Cap? Yeah, right there. Where it says, who keep our communities peaceful for business, or street workers who keep gangs divided and blowing each other away. Read that. Psalm 83.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
That's a crafty counsel right there to keep us fighting against each other.
Right.
If we have time to think, time to slow down and think about communities, brown berets and young lords, all that would come back. All that's the spirit that we had back then, it would come back. But it took crafty counsel to keep us fighting.
Yep. And then they say, here's a month for you guys. You guys have a Heritage Month, and everyone's so happy. Hell, at my job, I'm not going to say where I work at, but y'all know where I work at. At my job, they trying to do a potluck tomorrow. And guess what the potluck is about? Hispanic heritage.
Damn.
A potluck. You got the nerve for a potluck.
The audacity.
The audacity.
How dare you?
For a potluck when you know what happened to our people.
Bring it out.
Tell you, man, it's all systematically planned.
That's
Go to the next video. The next one is the Chicano Moratorium. Moratorium.
Yep.
Why 30,000 people marched.
30,000 Chicanos marched.
I want y'all to listen to this number right here. 30,000 Issacharites marched through the streets of East L.A.
That's crazy.
30,000. And they got mad at us because we did not even 2,000, not even 1,000.
Right.
But they did 30,000. Bro, I can't imagine that, bro.
Shit.
I can't imagine that. 30,000 Issacharites marching through the streets, men and women.
Right.
Go ahead, Cap, play that thing.
Through the streets of East LA that day. It was meant to be a peaceful anti-war demonstration. But within a couple of hours, it looked like a war zone. 200 people were arrested, 60 were wounded, and 4 killed. Wait.
Hold on, stop. Oh, go back to that imagery right there. Right there. Look at that imagery. I'm going to tell you, hold on, blow back up, Cap. Blow back up. Now, if you didn't know the title of this video, you would think that's a black man on the ground right now.
Right.
That's right.
You would think that's a black man on the ground that's about to get hit by this police baton.
Bring it out.
But that's a Mexican. That's Issacharite from the nation of Israel.
That's right.
That's about to get beat.
1970.
1970, the same thing that happened to the blacks.
Going on right now.
Go ahead. What you got, Cap? Or the 70 riots?
Civil rights.
Oh, that's Ferguson. Oh, right. It looks the same.
Right.
That image that we just froze looks the same as that image right there. Look at that image.
Damn.
It looks the exact same.
Now compare.
Compare, contrast. Look at that. There you go, right there.
With the baton.
Look at that. The same exact imagery. They did the same exact. Can we read that scripture again? Jeremiah 15:33. Read that again, bro. Read that again.
We trying to get y'all to understand that when that blacks and Hispanics are the same people.
The same people went through the same thing. Why are they not teaching this in Hispanic history? 1968. Hell, this one was 1970.
Right.
2 years later, now you got Issachar protesting now.
You get beat by cops.
It was Judah protesting.
Right.
2 years later, Issachar said, "The hell with this. We gonna march 30,000 deep down East LA."
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel.
The children of Israel, what you see right here, the brothers and sisters of Issachar, read.
And the children of Judah.
And the children of Judah, what you see right here in 1968, the riots, read.
Were oppressed together.
Now here's for all you non-believers. Show me any other picture in America of another nation like that.
Bring it out.
Show me one.
And
If you can, I repent. I rebuttal that thing. I will examine it, and I'll come back to you.
Right.
But until then, nobody else went through that.
Right.
That's right.
Nobody else went through that. Look at this, man. Look how people protesting. They got dogs sicked on them. They look, his face all, that's the face bloody.
Beaten and bloodied up.
1964 civil rights. Judah went first, like the scriptures say. Judah fought for civil rights, and guess who followed them? Their brothers, Issachar. Their brothers, Ephraim. Their brothers, Gad and Reuben.
Right.
And guess what? They all was met by the same force.
Right.
They all was met by batons and dogs. Look at that.
Right.
Go back. This got to be a part 3 next week. This is going to be a part 3. Go back. Play that thing, Cap.
In a second. Let's rewind for a moment. It was 1970, it was the Vietnam War, and President Nixon had just intensified the war, even after he said he would end it. Thousands of American soldiers were returning home in caskets, and one community started to notice a pattern. Mexican Americans, who were just 10% of the population in southwestern states, were 20% of those killed in combat.
So wait a minute. It says the Mexicans that went to Vietnam were 10% of the population, but 20% of the people that was coming back dead, dying in combat. That number don't add up. How you 10% of the population, but 20% of those that came back dead?
Yeah.
It's gonna break it out. It's
absolutely.
gonna break it out. Play that thing.
This sparked a movement in defense of Latinx lives. It wasn't exactly a Black Lives Matter moment. No two movements in history are the same, but it was the beginning of a Latinx-led push for civil rights and part of U.S. history that many in the community are making sure is not forgotten 4 decades later.
Latinos were being sent to the front lines deliberately, were lower achievers in the eyes of the government, but when it came to war and the need for cannon fodder, were prime meat.
This is Rosario.
Hey, our brothers say the Latinos was sent to the front lines in war.
Lines. Yep. They was the meat shields.
There was the meat. They was the ones that taking all the bullets so Esau on the back can go forth when the other nation is reloading.
Right.
That's what they were doing.
Nothing new under the sun.
So what they're saying is, what the Edomites, the Caucasian race, is saying is that the only thing you're good for is to die for their country.
To die for America.
Right.
That's what makes you a good American if you're willing to die for the nation.
Dang.
Either you're willing to die in the army or you're willing to die in the field. Working in the field to sun up, sun down, breaking your back, or you're willing to die in the army. Which one? That's why I see a lot of our Latino and Hispanic brothers, they join the military.
Right.
They join the military, you know, and America pushes that on them, especially on them. Especially. Go ahead, Cap.
He was an outspoken student leader back then and co-founder of the Chicano Moratorium, an organized effort to mobilize Mexican Americans and Chicanos to oppose the Vietnam War.
The disproportionate death rate of Chicanos in Vietnam, which was the primary motivation, was part of a whole web of oppression, higher dropout rates, more people going to prisons.
So on August 29th, 1970, they decided to march. It became the largest anti-war action by any ethnic group in the United States.
It was a wonderful thing, and it subliminally it got covered over by the brutal violence that followed an hour.
Woo! Hey, run that back, Cap. Run that back. I want y'all to see the
that was a daughter of Sarah.
That was a daughter of Sarah. How this Edomite, she just was looking, and he just came and just knocked her out in the back of her head. Play that thing.
It got covered over by the brutal violence that followed.
Knocked her out. Look at that. She gone.
For what reason?
Knocked her out.
Just standing there.
And look, he just gonna walk off.
Or two.
Next. Hey, the same as that thing that happened. You know, people we say Rodney King and all that, but our Hispanic brothers and sisters went through the same thing.
They just don't televise.
They don't televise it.
Like they do Judah.
They don't put this out. I'm gonna tell you, I never even knew about this stuff in the world. I never knew about this stuff in the world. I never. But it's on YouTube, but they don't put it in the schools. Like our sister said, when you take Hispanic history class in college, they only start from 1492.
Hey, can I get a script on that also
Absolutely.
again?
Go
Let's
ahead.
get Psalms chapter 2, verse 2. Because right now, the fact that you're learning this on a native hour is because you're not learning this in your public school system. You're not learning this in your colleges, your Catholic school, whatever you want to call it, whatever form of education you learn it. You're not learning that blacks and Hispanics are of the same bloodline. We have the same forefathers, and we went through the same struggles. Let's see what our enemies did to how do you say ununify? They separated us from being one people. We're going to show the Bible prophesied that. Our forefather King David prophesied that would happen to the nation of Israel. Let's read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 2. The kings of the earth.
The kings of the earth are your governors, your presidents, your Supreme Court system, your politicians. These are the kings of the earth today. Let's see what we should know about them. Let's read.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together.
So all of those Arabs, those Chinese, those gringos, those who else we got? The East Indians. They all come together. Let's see what they do.
The rulers take counsel together against the Lord.
They're coming against the Lord. So if they're coming against the Lord, who else do you think they're coming against? The Lord's children.
That's right.
The 12 tribes of Israel. Read.
Yep.
And against his anointed.
Let's read.
Saying, let us break their bands asunder.
Let's separate them. We can't have them knowing that they're the same people. We're going to put them in the same ghettos. We're going to put them in the same jails and prisons. We're going to put them in the same cemeteries, but we're not going to make them aware that they're the same people and have the same history. Let's read.
Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
So that way we don't unify as the 12 tribes of Israel under the commandments of God. Because this fight, once again, I saw the picture Officer Gett on the video, that first video where it said food, the one that says food, we want, can we pull that up real quick?
Oh, yeah, you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not going to play it. I just want to, why is it that they're putting all of those things on AK-47s? What's the subliminal message behind putting food, housing, and everything on AK-47s? Because say again?
They got to fight for those things.
But it's a carnal fight, like Officer Gadd said, to let you know that the only way you're going to receive those things, this is what our enemies are telling us, if you pick up guns. You pick up guns is the only way you're going to receive housing, food, health, and education. But this fight is spiritual. Get Zechariah 4 and 2, 4 and 6. Because we're going to show you that if we continue to fight carnally, all we're going to continue to do is fall. We're never going to unify as the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's read.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 6. Then he answered and said unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might.
What did the Bible say? A lot of you blacks and Hispanics, all you Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Cubans, you have Bibles. I want you to know, I want you to be aware of what Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6 is saying. Read it again.
Saying, not by might.
But what?
Nor by power.
But
by my spirit.
By the spirit of the Most High. Meaning we have to keep the laws because that's what's spiritual according to our Heavenly Father.
Right. All praise. Go ahead, Pagiel.
Let me get Leviticus chapter 26, verse 17. Because obviously you see 30,000 on the street protesting. Brown Berets form. Young Lords and all that. Read that.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 17. And I will set my face against you.
That's what God said. God said he's going to set his face against us. Why? Because we broke his commandments.
That's right.
He ordained us to follow our own heritage that he gave us, which is the laws of God. Read.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Those people who are shooting us in the street, hitting us with batons behind the head are what?
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Read.
And they that hate you shall reign over you.
To put you on the front line in their war,
Right.
for you to die, it's the people that hate you.
Absolutely.
Right.
You better believe it. The only reason why I'm putting you in front line because I don't want you to be with me.
Right.
I want you to die first.
Take the bullet.
Guess what? I hate you.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Hours earlier. I remember Ruben Salazar came up to me in the middle of the march and giving me a huge abrazo and saying, "Congratulations, you did it."
Salazar was a columnist for the LA Times, reporting on issues that mattered to the Chicano community. He was also a leading voice in the community's anti-war movement. He went to the moratorium march that day, and when the protests turned
Look at that. Go
violent,
back to
Salazar
that image.
ducked that day.
Do y'all not understand that we are the same people, man?
Marching down the street.
Our brothers and sisters that marched in this Chicano movement, in the Black Panther movement, in the Brown Berets movement, in the Young Lords, the AIM movement, we all was militant. Every last one of us was militant. We all had the understanding that we had to fight against oppression.
That's right.
Every last one of us. We had to fight. Why isn't this being taught in the schools? That's because they don't want you to learn how to fight. They don't want you to get that spirit back in you of fighting oppression. They want you to be happy with
Right.
oppression.
Right.
This is the same thing. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? Let me see. Civil rights. Civil rights march. The same exact thing.
Fighting for rights.
The same exact thing. Look, we was looking earlier with the Young Lords. They marched the same way. Down the streets, line behind each other, militant. The Black Panther Party, militant, marching. They all look the same. You couldn't even tell the difference from them. That's because we are the same people. But society, look at this. Hell, the Young Lords wore the same beret.
Same
The Chicano movement wore the same beret. It's the same. They all look the same. That's because we are the same people.
That's right.
We are the same exact people. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, it's Black Heritage, Hispanic Heritage Month. It's Black History Month. No, we are the same exact people.
Bring it out.
It's time for us to come back to our true nationality. We're going to put a little bit more on this, then we're going to pull a few scripts and we out. Go ahead.
That day. And when the protests turned violent, Salazar ducked into a local bar. A police officer had fired a tear gas canister at the bar's entrance. The police claimed the canister struck Salazar in the head and killed him instantly. But a lot of people questioned the circumstances that ended his life.
And whether it was a tear gas projectile, whether it was another shot, there's many contradictions. If he were hit by a tear gas projectile, why was his head still intact? It was a tremendous loss to us. And although he died unjustly, he left his vision for better education and justice for Mexican Americans as a legacy for the community.
Yep. Hey,
The
watch
Chicano
this, y'all.
moratorium.
You made a great point. That's the same thing they did to Malcolm X.
Right.
And Martin Luther King killed them. Killed the leader. Killed the head and the body will crumble. They did the same exact thing with every Israelite movement in that day. Every last one of them. Why don't you come join Christ's movement?
That's right.
Where can't nobody kill our head.
That's right. That's right.
Can't nobody destroy our head.
Right.
Because Christ is our head. Christ is our king. Go ahead.
Is a significant event in LA's history, but I didn't hear about it until an ethnic studies class in college. All of that was more than a decade ago, so I began to wonder, maybe things had changed. I went back to where it all went down, East LA, to see if other people had heard about the Chicano moratorium. Have you ever heard something that took place around here called the Chicano moratorium?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever heard of something
Now,
called the
I
Chicano
want y'all to pay attention.
moratorium?
Hold on. I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is today. He's going around asking Latinos, so-called Mexicans about the Chicano movement, what their fathers did. And watch the response. Go ahead.
I have not. Actually, that's new news for me.
What do you think it is just by putting the two words together?
Moratorium, you said? I don't know, an event that has to do with Chicanos?
So you've been here 57 years and never heard of Chicano moratorium?
No, I haven't.
But for Rosario Munoz, that doesn't mean it didn't have an impact.
Our primary goal was to raise opposition to the war and support.
You gotta understand how
education.
powerful Esau is, man. 30,000 people took part in the Chicano moratorium, but nobody in 2018 know what the hell is going on.
Hidden from you.
What? I've never heard of that. What? So you've been in 57 years, never heard of the Chicano moratorium? No, I never heard of it.
So when you look into your history, what the hell you studying?
That's the thing, Officer Pagiel. You got to understand, our people don't study unless they're told to study.
Right.
Watch, I'm going to show you something. Give me Proverbs 22 and 6. I'm going to show you something. Give me Proverbs 22 and 6. I think that's it, right? Proverbs 22 and verse 6. We almost out of here. Yep, read that. Watch this. I'm going to show you something.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up thy child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So you got to understand, God says train your child up in the way he should go, meaning the law, statutes, and commandments. What Esau has done is they have infiltrated the homes of our so-called Hispanic brothers and sisters.
Right.
So now when the kids are trained up into adults, they have no idea of their history. They have no idea that there was an oppression. They have no idea that they were slaves. They were being beat the same way that Rodney King was beat.
Right.
The same way that the Black Panther Party was discontinued, dismantled. The same way that all these other events happened, they was raised to never see themselves as slaves. They was raised to never see themselves as being oppressed.
Right.
And you know what's crazy, Officer Gad? A lot of Hispanics, what we do is that when we look into, when they teach history, because they bring up the Spaniards' history and teach their heritage, because they speak Spanish, we think that's us. That's what happens. That's why a lot of our people don't know there was such a march like that.
That's right.
Because every history of them, they think is the Spaniards' history. And we got to stop doing that.
Right. Go ahead, Heles. What you got?
No, I agree. That's heavy history, man. We have to search out our forefathers. It's talking about biblically and current events even today and what happened only 50, 60 years ago. This did not happen but just 50, 60 years ago. This is not history that happened 100 years ago. So how is it that this was excluded from their history? How was this erased from the Hispanic Latino history? Such a big event, 30,000 men and women going together forth in one cause, in one mind, and nobody has any information about the whole Chicano moratorium. Nobody knows what it's about. Nobody knows when it began. That lets you know that our people, we lack a lot of education. These school systems are failing us. They're not teaching us who we are.
Right, absolutely. So here on the Natives Out, we're going to have to come back next week for part 3 because we still got a whole lot of history to bring out. And what is this right here? Telemundo? Oh, yeah, they whitewashed us.
Dang.
Telemundo. That's why everybody on Telemundo and the stories are all pale skinned.
Right.
Spaniards.
All Spaniards.
Yeah, that's what they are. That's what they are.
Telemundo.
I actually did an experiment on a lot of Telemundo morning show hosts and novelas, and I looked up the actors and actresses, and a lot of their fathers, because we know the scriptures say that you are who your father is. A lot of their fathers, guess where they come from? Spain,
Dang.
Norway, Denmark.
Dang.
It ain't just Spain. Netherlands. They come from the mountains of Europe.
Yep, that's the only way that you can succeed as a Hispanic.
Right.
That's the only way that you can get some popularity, get some publicity, is you got to be light skinned.
Right.
All right. Hey, all right. We're going to get Jeremiah 50:4. 50:4. Yeah, 50:4. So, hail the natives, all praise to the Most High. We went over Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going to go over it next week as well because it ends on the 10th. And we're going to go over it again next week.
All praises.
If it be the Lord's will.
That's
you
right.
know why? Because we are trying to dig into the minds of our people just to make you think. Just to get that clock ticking, just to get that oil grease up that Dickie y'all say, put some butter on that biscuit.
Get it sizzling.
Get it sizzling. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you to understand that it's something going wrong here in America.
Right.
Here in the States. It's something going wrong. And they're trying to lure us to sleep with Hispanic History Month.
Right.
They're trying to lure us to sleep with Columbus Day. They're trying to lure us to sleep with Christmas. Hell, Halloween is right around the corner.
Right.
Trying to lure us to sleep with witchcraft.
Dang.
They're trying to lure us to sleep with Thanksgiving. They're trying to lure us to sleep with all these atrocities, all these abominations that the Lord says that we don't even realize that we are in deep sin.
Right.
We don't realize that we are on the verge of death. Read that. 50:4.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 4.
But it's going to come a time where you ain't going to have a choice. You ain't going to have a choice. When you hear this and you see the history coming out, how it correlates with the prophecies of the Bible, your spirit going to wake.
That's right.
Read.
In those days and in that time.
Come on.
Saith the Lord.
In those days and in that time, future prophecy, read.
The children of Israel shall come.
Come on.
They and the children of Judah.
It says the children of Israel, which are you so-called Hispanics, Native Indians, and the children of Judah, Benjamin and Levi, read.
And they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God.
That's a future prophecy.
Beautiful thing.
And it will happen.
Inevitable.
It is happening right now.
That's right.
It's happening right now. That's why the Most High gave us the wisdom to even be on the Natives Hour.
Right.
To gather our people together.
That's right.
Because the nations hate you. You may look in the mirror and think that you are loved by the white man. You are loved by the Chinese man. You are hated. Read on.
Verse 5. They shall ask the way to Zion.
Come on.
With their faces thitherward. Saying, come, let us join
Let us do what?
Join ourselves to the Lord.
Let us join ourselves to the Heavenly Father. Read.
In a perpetual covenant. That shall not be forgotten.
That perpetual covenant is salvation.
That's right.
It's getting the kingdom of heaven. That's what that perpetual covenant is. This whole world belongs to us.
That's right.
Now it's time to come back together and join ourselves together. Because God ain't calling us Hispanics. God ain't calling us Native Americans. He calls us Israel.
That's right.
He calls us Israelites. That's who we are. That's who we are. Y'all brothers gonna say something?
All praises.
That's good.
All praise to the Most High. So tune in next week for part 3. We got a lot of history to bring out. It's so much history that they are hiding from you. You should be pissed off.
That's right.
To the highest festivity.
Absolutely.
You should be angry.
Absolutely.
By how much knowledge they're trying to hide from you.
Right.
Think about it. If they gotta hide it, why? Why they gotta hide it?
Right.
Obviously, they're hiding because they don't want you to see it.
That's right.
They don't want you to see it, and now you awake. Give me one more scripture. Give me Ephesians, I think it is.
They don't want it to spark something.
Right. Give me Ephesians, I think it's 4 and 13. I might be wrong.
Ephesians chapter
4. Let me see.
Endeavoring to keep
5 and 13. Let me see. What says awake? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Wake.
No. No, it's not. Right. No, it's in Ephesians or Galatians. I forget. Awake, and put on Christ or something like that. Hold on, y'all. We got one more scripture to bring out. Let me find it. Awake and put on Christ. Hold on. Awake. Let me see.
All praise to the Most High.
Let me see.
Native Hour. That's what we're doing, teaching the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, especially Latinos, so-called Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, whatever you want to call yourself.
Here we go.
Hispanic heritage is not your heritage.
Ephesians 5:14. Didn't I say that?
5:14.
5:14, right? I said 13, right? 5:13. Dang. 5:14. All I had to do was read down. 5:14. Read that.
The book of Ephesians.
Come on, come on.
Chapter 5, verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest.
Awake, you so-called Hispanics and Native Indians. God has demanded that you wake up. Wake up and realize that your history has been hidden. Wake up. Come on.
And arise from the dead.
God says you are dead. You are dead. You are mentally and physically, not physically, but you are mentally and spiritually dead.
Right.
You don't know who you are. You don't know who your God is.
Right.
You are celebrating your oppressor's days. You should be mad as hell your oppressor gave you a month to celebrate. He should have gave you 12. He only gave you 1 in the middle of the month. And in your month, he tells you to celebrate Columbus Day. Celebrate the poverty-stricken, the slavery, the genocide, the colonization of your people in the month that he gave you.
Dang.
You should be pissed. Read on.
Arise from the dead.
Come on.
And Christ shall give thee light.
And who?
And Christ shall give thee light.
So right now we are dead. We are walking in darkness because we don't know who we are and we ain't following Christ.
Right.
So with that, we're going to say shalom, Most High Christ bless. Here on the Natives Hour, come back next week, share this video, tell your co-workers, your friends, your family that the Hispanics are being lied to during Hispanic Heritage Month.
That's right.
Right? All praise the Most High. I'm Officer Gad.
Officer Hales.
Officer Pagiel.
And with that, we say shalom, Most High Christ bless.
Most High Christ bless.
Most High Christ bless.
La loi bonne Dieu, nous pral kase, gozo to bwei, vene, reparti vene, bonne Dieu beni.
The weapons of our warfare is not carnal. Oh no, 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 no. Don't need no answer to take over the block. Oh no, 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 no. Set shop on your corner, all we need is the Bible. Whoa, 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 whoa. With the Lord by my side, I know I am able. Whoa, 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 whoa. It pleased the Lord by the foolishness of preaching. Save those that are lost and still searching. Bring them in before the fire start blazing. Lightning, thunder, and swords start swinging. Gnashing of teeth, enough heads will be rolling. Redemption time, and Israel is rising. ICB and Babylon will be burning.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.